Through his gold mining adventures, Parker Schnabel, the young miner, has made history by achieving unimaginable goals. But as they say, even the smartest ones have to witness the fall. Parker and his hardworking crew are sweating over a sudden issue that's got them all stressed out. What's the fuss about? Well, it's big enough to make even the Parker Schnabel worry about fuel bills. So what went down during the gold weigh-in that's got Parker scratching his head? Is this the beginning of a seriously tough road that is about to shut them off, or is the team on the brink of a gold jackpot? This latest scoop is a head-scratcher for us too, and it's got us all questioning the fate of Parker's mining journey. What will Parker Schnabel do about this sudden problem? Stick around as we uncover the mystery. As the sun peeked over the Yukon horizon, Parker Schnabel and his hard-working crew faced a day filled with unexpected challenges and surprises. Little did they know that the morning held the beginnings of a story that would unfold in ways they couldn't have predicted. The day kicked off like any other for these miners, with the usual mix of routine tasks and unforeseen obstacles. Fueled by enthusiasm and a strong sense of teamwork, the crew eagerly approached the mining site. There was an air of anticipation, a feeling that something unknown loomed ahead, adding a touch of mystery to their adventure. Their destination, a narrow section called the Bear Cut at the mining site, was the spot where the team faced a significant challenge for the day. A massive task lay ahead, digging and removing a whopping 15 feet of frozen overburden, a weighty load exceeding 500,000 tons. Taking on this enormous challenge was crew member Payson, who skillfully operated the robust D10 dozer to uncover the frozen ground and load it onto the patiently waiting trucks. As Payson expertly maneuvered the hefty machinery, the sounds of engines and heavy equipment echoed through the mining site, creating a symphony of progress. Amid the routine and hard work, Payson, drawing on his seasoned experience, paused to offer a word of caution to his fellow team members. He warned them about the tough conditions in the area, a considerate gesture that would soon be overshadowed by the unexpected turns of fate awaiting them. As the day rolled on at the mining site, Tyler Mahoney and Tatiana Costa, both steering their massive trucks, took a moment for a casual chat. Unaware of the surprise awaiting them later in the day, they discussed the idea of grabbing a drink after work and offered each other help if needed. But, out of the blue, a challenge struck. Tatiana, in the midst of their conversation, faced a blown tire, rendering her truck immobile and blocking access to the dump site. The unexpected obstacle brought the entire operation to an abrupt halt, leaving the crew to grapple with the sudden twist and quickly come up with a plan to get back on track. The ordinary chit-chat had turned into a pivotal moment, highlighting the unpredictable nature of their mining endeavors. Shane Gallup, another skilled operator, came to the burst tire site to assist Tatiana Costa. Their goal was to free her truck, which had come to a grinding halt with a blown tire, a sudden hiccup that disrupted the seamless flow of the mining operation. Shane, experienced and cautious, took on the challenge, carefully maneuvering his own heavy machinery to avoid causing further damage to Tatiana's truck. The challenge that hit Tatiana Costa's truck wasn't just the everyday flat tire fixable in a snap. No, this was a big problem. A colossal tire stuck deep in the unyielding mud, demanding a more careful approach to sort it out. The initial move was getting the truck to a flat spot, giving the team a solid foundation to deal with the tire-changing task. The truck was stuck deeply in the mud, and the team had to involve a crane and excavator. These tough machines were called in to help with the detailed job of getting rid of the massive tire and putting a new one in its place. The sheer size of this gigantic tire required a precise dance of equipment, highlighting the complexities of large-scale mining operations. But the challenges didn't stop there. The crew, undaunted by the huge task at hand, also brought in a 480 to help with the tire-changing job. This extra piece of heavy machinery joined the coordinated efforts happening at the mining site, as the team tirelessly worked to deal with the unexpected problem. The massive tire, a giant weighing over 1,200 pounds, added another layer of difficulty to the operation. Its hefty price tag, a whopping $4,500, emphasized the importance of this unforeseen hiccup. Through a series of well-thought-out moves and careful efforts, Shane and the crew took on the daunting task of clearing the way. As the rock truck blocked the way, removing it from that site allowed other trucks to get back to the essential job of dumping overburden. As the team successfully changed the tire, which took them about half an hour, the conversation shifted to the uniqueness of the situation. Many of them confessed to never encountering such a blown-up tire before, and the shared awe at the sheer scale of the challenge became a topic of discussion amid the symphony of heavy machinery. The success of this challenge left them unaware of the massive challenge ahead, a challenge that will be revealed soon. The mining site was a hive of activity, like a busy highway with trucks constantly coming and going. There was a sense of excitement in the air as the crew prepared for a massive excavation. Mitch Blassie, the foreman and leader of this mining operation, took charge, overseeing the entire process with his experienced eye. Their goal was the Bear Cut, a site with the potential for a significant excavation, uncovering hidden gold treasures. Mitch and his crew were on a mission to get to the pay dirt before Big Red, the wash plant, could consume all the Easy Street pay dirt. The challenge was clear, and the crew, under Mitch's guidance, was determined to conquer it and reveal the potential riches lying beneath the earth. The challenge was clear, and the Gold Rush crew understood the scale of the task ahead. With determination evident on their faces, they utilized every tool available to tackle the project. Dozers made a powerful noise as they pushed through the tough material, excavators patiently perched on piles, and trucks tirelessly transported the excavated soil to the dump site. The mining operation resembled a well-coordinated dance between machinery and manpower. The dozers, using their force, pushed the material upwards, forming mounds of earth. The excavator delicately handled the valuable payload from its perch on these piles, while trucks efficiently moved back and forth, carrying the waste to the designated dump site. Mitch's crew demonstrated an unwavering commitment to completing the job. The mining site, filled with the sounds of the machinery symphony, resonated with the collective effort to uncover the potential treasures hidden beneath. The air was filled with a sense of purpose, each crew member playing a crucial role in this intricate dance with the earth unknown of the future challenge. In the evening, the team gathered in the shelter near the lake to finally weigh in the amount of gold they found. And this might not be their lucky day. Unaware of the result, the team gathered and greeted each other and discussed the happenings of the day. The team member inquired about the gold cleaning progress, expressing hope for a bountiful yield. The air buzzed with anticipation, and Tyson Lee chimed in, sharing updates on their operations at the Bear Cut. The conversation shifted to the challenges faced during the week, including encounters with a wandering bear and mechanical issues. The crew also discussed about the blown tire of Tatiana's truck. Tyson Lee acknowledged Tatiana's expertise in maneuvering rock trucks, but highlighted the unexpected hurdles they encountered, and how the sheer effort of the team got the issue fixed in just half an hour. The crew faced another setback when the 480 blew its track off, requiring swift repairs to get it back on track. Despite these challenges, the crew remained optimistic, acknowledging that such hiccups were part of the mining journey. The discussion revealed a mix of experiences, from the thrill of unplanned encounters with wildlife to the grit of overcoming technical issues. As the crew eagerly approached the gold weighing, anticipation hung thick in the air. Mitch, the seasoned foreman, acknowledged the significance of Easy Street's first full week. Gathered around, the crew anxiously awaited the verdict. The final count, 139.30 ounces, falling just short of their actual goal. A palpable mix of satisfaction and hunger for more filled the moment. The unspoken question lingered. What could that additional ounce have unlocked? The mining site buzzed with renewed determination as the crew, bound by the pursuit of gold, forged ahead in the rugged terrain of Easy Street. As the golden dust settled from the weigh-in, Mitch, the seasoned foreman, stepped into the spotlight of experience, offering a glimpse into the complex world of gold mining. With a reflective gaze, he acknowledged the inherent challenges of the first full week's run, emphasizing that in the unpredictable dance with the earth, hurdles were inevitable. The crew, a mix of anticipation and curiosity etched on their faces, huddled around as Mitch delved into the calculations. The value, just over $200,000, hung in the air like a question mark. Was this bountiful enough to sustain the relentless operation, or would it merely scratch the surface of the towering fuel bills that loomed over the horizon? Mitch's acknowledgement of the meager coverage for the week's fuel bills injected a suspenseful undertone into the atmosphere. Everyone could see the tension on Parker Schnabel's face that left them to ponder. What challenges lay ahead, and would the gold unearthed be the beacon of triumph or a mere flicker against the financial abyss? The conversation pivoted to the season's total, standing at 13,137 ounces, a robust figure that echoed through the mining site. But in the midst of this reassurance, a question lingered. Would this buffer be sufficient to weather the storm of uncertainties, or was it merely a fleeting respite in the grand narrative of gold mining? The crew's dialogue became a tapestry of reflections and uncertainties, weaving a narrative that transcended the tangible ounces of gold. Viewers were left on the edge, grappling with questions that echoed through the vast expanse of the mining world. Was this slightly lower weekly yield a harbinger of challenges to come, or a mere hiccup in the grand scheme of the mining saga? As Parker Schnabel and the crew dispersed, each member absorbed in their respective tasks, the mining site pulsated with the rhythm of suspense. The gold, gleaming in its hidden vaults, held the answers to questions yet unasked. The story of Bearcut's mining, unfolding in the unforgiving landscape, left everyone hanging in the balance, eagerly awaiting the next chapter in this gripping gold mining adventure. But this is not it. Hold on for the revelations that await, and every ounce of gold carries the weight of challenges and triumphs yet to unfold. With a sense of camaraderie and a nod to past experiences, the crew engaged in a reflective conversation, looking back on the highs and lows of the previous year. Despite challenges, the prevailing optimism was contagious, setting the tone for the discussions on the current trajectory. A key highlight was the crew's enthusiasm about the imminent boost in gold mining may look very careful and serious, but even the most skilled miners make mistakes from time to time. Miners have had their fair share of ups and downs, from small mistakes that are easy to miss to big ones that cost a lot of money and make team members angry. Come with us as we look into the most stupid parts of the gold rush, putting the million-dollar dredge down. The dredge owned by Tony Beets sank for the second time in 6 weeks. He was told to go down and check on the dredge, even though it was his day off. What Tony saw when he got there could have been better. That machine held a lot of money, and it was just sitting there. It wasn't a happy moment. It looked like the team knew how bad things were, but they didn't know where to begin. The issue had to be fixed, but it was extra hard because the machine had to work by the time Tony got back. They were working on the pontoons to get rid of the water and get the dredge to float again. They thought something was broken. The pontoons quickly filled with water. Knowing how bad things were getting, one of the team members just turned around and signed, saying that Tony and Kevin would not be happy with this. When they tried to fix things quickly, there was too much water in the pontoons, so they just tried to lighten the load to get rid of the weight. They were sure that the boss would not be happy with them because the company loses about $1,000 an hour when the digger is not working. In the end, that's a lot of cash. They set up 6 pumps to drain the water to fix the problem with the pump that was sinking, but they knew they were losing. They didn't even believe the pumps could do the job. Mike really helped them out by getting a strong pump that could move 3,000 liters of water per minute. After fixing the pump, they left it to do its job. They remembered that $1,000 went by every hour. They had been pumping for water for 12 hours and spent $12,000 on it. They finally pumped the water out of the pontoons. They needed to figure out why the digger sank in the first place. When Roger Redball looked at the dredge and saw that the doors were open, it was a big surprise. The team had been working on their own problems and trying to get through the cut. They realized that this wasn't a natural or technical failure, but rather an error made by a person. Because the doors were open, sand and water could get into the pontoons and cause the dredge to sink. The whole thing was their fault. When Tony and Kevin got back from the sale, they did what they were supposed to do and asked what happened. The mine boss still wanted to know why the doors were left open, even after he knew what had happened. It turned out that the night shift team was to blame. They weren't looking at the digger. Now that the pontoons were fixed, Tony didn't want to point the finger at anyone. He just wanted to turn the dredge around and use it again. Again, the groundwater and water from the holding pond made the dredge float. They were getting ready for the next step. She and her team showed that they were ready, and they asked Mike right away how to move the dredge. Kevin told them to work quickly so Jason wouldn't be able to start digging in the new area. The dredge was going to be turned 90 degrees, which would make the tailings line swing over the road. Careful steps were needed for this. They looked and saw that the back end was pretty close to the shore. With a very important moment coming up, the team knew they had to make some tricky moves to get the dredge through a tough spot. They were hoping that they would be able to make the turn. Even though there might be some problems, they were happy and glad when the dredge was finally in the right place because everything went as planned. When the turn went well, the team took a look at what had happened and was happy with how things turned out. Now that the dredge was ready to start getting gold again, they were excited about the chance to get some prizes. The bucket's noise showed that things were going well, and everyone on the team was feeling good and hopeful about what they were doing. The night shift crew did something really stupid that almost damaged Tony's dredge. But what a new driver did to a truck was even worse. The whole truck was almost destroyed, almost making an engine burst. After 11 weeks of digging, Tony had brought in more than 1,000 ounces of gold. But he wasn't completely happy. There had to be more made. In 2 of his cuts, the 8-acre blue cut and the 9-acre cold cut, he was trying to catch Paradise Hill's sought-after white Chanel pay run. But the weather had been bad for him for the past 6 weeks. He was back in the cold cut, where there was still a lot of money to be made. To make up for the time he lost, Tony planned to sluice day and night for the first time this season to double his output. 3 new drivers were brought in to help the team because there was a lot of work to be done. The 3 guys were way too excited about the season. They thought it was great to be over there trying to work off the ladder and hoping to work in the yard and see some real good. It was better than seeing them with fancy jewelry on. They had to show Tony they had the right skills before they could work the night job. The boss had a lot of faith in them. He told them that if they were smart and wanted to learn, they could learn anything about welding or motors. They could find a way through life if they knew which way to go. The rookies were to be trained by Megan Gondet, who had worked for Parker before going back to work for Tony the previous year. Thomas was one of the newbies, and she told him not to do anything crazy, but to focus on being more productive. But Thomas had done a really stupid thing. It was back at the yard that lead mechanic Kevin Beat noticed something wasn't right. He was working on the trucks that were needed for the Paradise Hills Blitz. Where was the 4th truck? It turned out that Thomas was in charge. The trouble was that truck number 4 was broken, too hot, and couldn't be used. Kevin marked cars that needed repairs before they could be used with lockout tags. What a stupid thing Thomas did. He didn't care about the tag, and it wasn't even signed. Thomas made a big mistake for a first-timer. It was a big deal to take a truck with a lockout tag on it. Thomas was putting the engine at risk, and Tony now knew about it. Thomas had a good chance of getting sent off, but it didn't happen. He was told by his boss to get back in a truck. He gave the new driver another chance, but this time in a truck that was in good shape and had been signed out. The newbies were full again. More trucks were better. We saw Tony having trouble with water and his dredge, but he wasn't the only one who had trouble with water because of a mistake. Parker has his fair share of water issues. In his case, he almost lost all of his wolf cut pay, a mining site that is now underwater. Parker was looking for a pay streak in the 4-acre wolf cut on the far side of his Alaskan claim. He hoped that it would bring him at least 1,000 ounces this season. The group was trying to get to pay dirt 30 feet below, but they had to dig out 1,000 yards of extra material. 4 more feet would bring them to the water, and then it would be 30 feet to the rocks. But it looked like it was cooler than it really was. It would be very hard for them because they were working next to a pond. Frozen mud was the best option because it kept the water out. Recruit John Baudry was told to deal with the mud and keep the water out, but it looked like the cut was pretty